As usual, beware of spoilers for episode 14, season 8 of The Walking Dead. So the second teaser for episode 14 shows us a lot of clips and new areas and new times throughout the episode. Rick asks the Savior that was trying to redeem himself, where did they go? So he's not looking for Henry specifically, it's they. Rick will likely go out and search for the prisoners that Henry let go the previous night. It isn't exactly clear why there was a walker in the Hilltop prison the previous night. I suppose the only explanation is the Saviors hurt their own prisoners. I'm just going to assume by accident. Now at the very beginning of the teaser, there's a scene where Rick is running behind a tree, and he seems sort of cautious. Judging from the rest of the teaser, with him and Morgan, it's likely he's seeing some of the walkers that this next shot has Morgan and Carol looking at. Those two are definitely going to be searching for Henry, at least at first. From reading the synopsis for episode 14, which says Carol searches for someone in the nearby forest, and Rick and Morgan find themselves in the company of strangers. Just looking at the wording alone, we know that Morgan doesn't spend a lot of time hanging out with Carol. The majority of this episode will have Carol probably searching for Henry on her own. Maybe Morgan and Carol will run into Rick as Rick is on the road searching for the prisoners, and Morgan, I guess, will just decide to go with Rick for whatever reason, instead of looking for Henry. Maybe Morgan thinks finding the prisoners is his responsibility because Henry was kind of his responsibility, that sort of thing. I'm going to assume that the scene where Carol and Morgan are looking at the herd of walkers is where they'll be forced to split up initially. And for the next scene, there is only one reason to show Eugene in the presence of Daryl and Rosita at this point. He is definitely going to be taken back to the hilltop by them. Daryl and Rosita, as we saw in that first teaser, went out in search of the materials the Saviors will use to make more bullets. Something goes wrong, clearly, with their plan, and they are left with only one option. Instead of taking or destroying the materials needed for the bullets, just take the bullet maker. Take Eugene and bring him back to Rick's side. I guarantee Eugene will put up a very frustrating fight as he did with Gabriel when Gabriel was trying to reason with him. Eugene has more or less accepted being a savior like Negan, yet there was some conflict initially, but he's working for them. If no one knew his backstory, he looks like a savior. Eugene has a coward-like personality, so he won't put up much of a fight when Daryl starts to pressure him. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Daryl and Rosita are actually going to get Eugene out of this sanctuary itself. We also got a tease for Morgan probably talking about or hinting that he may depart soon. Rick says, "We will finish it, you and me." So Rick wants Morgan to basically stay until Negan has been dealt with by the end of the season. It's really hard to see at first, but in this shot, Morgan is being thrown his staff. Rick, of course, is the one throwing. They seem to be inside some old shop in the middle of the day. Something had to have triggered the sudden rush of walkers into the shop. They wouldn't have just gone in there. They wouldn't have just gone in there by themselves. Make maybe a loud noise of some kind, maybe some gunshots. Those walkers could actually be a part of the herd that Carol and Morgan saw earlier. And that's why Morgan and Rick just begin their fight guns a-blazing. They know there's too many to take out with knives. They know there's a lot more coming than just the few that you see in the shop. So if you pause here, we can see that Negan has bloodstains on his shirt. I'm assuming that's the blood from being knocked out by Jadis initially. He's also been stripped of his signature jacket and Lucille yet again. Jadis is seen here holding it. We also, of course, have confirmation Jadis brought Negan to the garbage heap in the first place. Of course, where else would she bring him? So a point I want to make is Jadis changed her outfit really drastically. It looks nothing like her garbage outfit. She could have easily just worn that again. There's no reason not to. It makes me wonder if the entire thing was an act. Like, under all of the garbage in the garbage heap, there's some kind of, I don't know, military base? I'm just guessing here. Like that, something as crazy as that would easily explain why there's a helicopter pad oddly situated in the garbage heap itself. If you remember when Simon and the Saviors initially attacked the garbage people, Jadis's reaction was very human. It was very normal. She didn't have her usual weird way of speaking. Like it could all be an act. Maybe this is what a heap's prisoner makes a discovery is referring to in the synopsis for this episode. Negan finds out that Jadis and her community aren't actually crazy. We can even see that Negan has a confused expression when he sees Jadis wearing that new outfit, or a normal outfit. So the showrunners are putting a lot of emphasis on the changes made at the heaps, the changes that Jadis is making. So that has to be a part of the discovery Negan will make. Because remember, Negan already found out that Simon massacred her people. That's not what he's going to find out this episode. But what do you think will happen to the trash heaps, to Jadis? I personally think Jadis will probably not last until the next season. But I do think that this part of the episode is what I'm most excited for. I can't wait to know what exactly Negan will find out in this episode. But as usual though, if you like this video, remember to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.